Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube video where we have quite a pack to start. This is what you like to see. We're taking Ancestral. This is one of the best cards in the entire format. There's an argument to be made that it's #1 overall pick. I probably wouldn't take it over Black Lotus or Sol Ring, but at any rate, this is certainly one of the best cards ever printed and one of the best cards in this format. If there was no Ancestral, it would be really, really hard because Ragavan is very first pickable, as is Strip Mine, as is Skyclave Apparition, as is Remand. And then even beyond that, like, I don't hate leading on a Solitude or an Overgrown Tomb. And then if you're an absolute madman, you could take Tendrils. So really good pack all around. We'll probably not wheel much from this because Remand certainly will be taken, and this is the only other blue card, but we will happily take Ancestral. And I mean, the fact that, like, Remand is probably the second best card, so whoever we pass to will likely take it, and we'll get cut from blue, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to pass Ancestral Recall. And now we get Fractured Identity. Jeez. Another incredibly strong pack. Wasteland is great. It's funny that we just passed Strip Mine, now we get a Wasteland. There's Jite, which is very strong. Path, High Tide. I mean, we're taking the Fractured, but even, like, Dark Confidant's pretty good. But, yeah, this is just incredibly strong. These two cards are just broken, honestly. I mean, they're both card advantage that are efficient, and this is great interaction. Yeah, very happy with how this is starting out. Now we can take a Hallowed Fountain. Perfect. If there's no Hallowed Fountain, Wall of Omens and Thraben Inspector fill similar roles as solid value creatures that can defend Planeswalkers well, but we will certainly be taking Hallowed Fountain. I would be surprised if neither of these came around, so we'll probably end up wheeling the Wall. Whoever plays white aggro will take the Thraben Inspector, and we get the Wall, which I would be pretty happy with. Okay, this is the first pack where there's not a clear best card for us. There is Frantic Search, which is okay. It's better when you have Ancestral to offset the card disadvantage, but I don't love it. There's Yorion, but I don't really want to pick that fourth. There's a couple lands. Maybe we just take the Breeding Pool here. Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. We'll go with the Breeding Pool. When you have good card draw like Ancestral, that makes green mana acceleration even better. If we already had the Breeding Pool, then we could take the Wooded Foothills, which would be better. But I think we take the Breeding Pool first here. Yeah, let's go with that. And now we have... this is not the best pack for us either. There's another land that's medium. We could just take a Probe, which is fine. We could take Garruk Relentless, but that's a little bit underpowered for a pick this early. I think I'm just going to take the Probe. We don't have any synergies with it at the moment, but there's a lot of things we could get. I mean, anything with Delve, Uro, Jace Vryn's Prodigy, Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, let's take the Probe. Ooh. Normally I would take Ashiok here, even though we don't have any fixing for it, but given that we have a miscalculation, I think we just got to go with that. Yeah, miscalculation is just so good. We have no counter magic yet, and this helps to solve that problem. And now we could take... There's a Fallen Shinobi if we wanted to play black. There's also a Godless Shrine. There's Firebolt. None of these cards look amazing. We could take Elspeth, I guess. It's not the most broken card. The question is, like, how many colors are we playing? This Godless Shrine could open up some nice splashes. Yeah, I don't think Elspeth is that good, and, you know, it being double white's a little bit awkward. If this was 4-mana Gideon, I think I would take it, but yeah, let's take the Godless Shrine here. Just keep ourselves open. Base blue splashing lots of good gold colors, or good gold cards is a pretty good place to be. Now we get, well, there's a Brain Freeze. I mean, we could have definitely done Storm. We pass High Tide, Frantic Search, Brain Freeze, but I don't think that's what we're going with here. Although, honestly, maybe it is. There's really not much in this pack for us. Brain Freeze is a good sideboard card against Storm. I don't think we're going to be playing it. Although, I guess if everything comes around, we could still go towards that direction. What else are we taking, though? Like, we could take this as just, like, pretty mediocre interaction. Yeah, I guess I will take the Brain Freeze. Not really with the intent of playing it, but, I mean, we'll see what comes around. Now, there is a Tendrils. I just don't think that's where we want to be, though. Yeah, let's just take Skyclave Apparition. I think that's the better pick here. If High Tide and Frantic Search both wheel, then I'll slightly regret not entertaining the idea of going into Storm, but it's just not. I really don't want to play Storm in general unless it's like hitting me in the face. It's just not good. It can be like if you enjoy playing Storm, by all means draft it, but it's not good. Oh, well. Now there's a High Tide and an Elspeth Conquers Death, so a little bit of a decision point, but I think I'm just going to take the Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah, let's go with that. Thraben Inspector comes around over the wall. That's a little surprising, but okay. There's the Frantic Search. I mean, yeah, like, Storm is open. Maybe we should have just done that, but I don't know. I think I will take this, but not start with it in the main deck, and then we can bring it in when we're on the draw. Yeah, I think just, like, we're just going to have a better deck if we play these blue-white cards. The Gideon Blackblade. Tidehauler Scholar could be good if we end up with a Black Splash. And last pick, Nahiri, which actually could be good if we end up with a Red Splash. Again, who knows if that'll happen, but not a bad one. Ooh, now we get a nice Mox. Don't mind if I do. It's even on color. Other good cards in this pack? Well, there's actually 3 good blue cards, and there's a good chance one of them comes around. And any of these 3 would be good for us. If we were doing Storm, we would probably just take Treasure Cruise, I guess. But, yeah, let's just take the Mox. Pretty happy to see that. And we can follow it up with... Palace Jailer is good. It's not... We don't have that many creatures right now. It's really between Palace Jailer and Memory Deluge, I guess. Deluge is fine, but I think I'm going to go with a Palace Jailer here. Yeah, let's take that. With Palace Jailer and Skyclave Apparition, we have decent ways to maintain the Monarchy. Yeah, this deck is actually looking very good. The mana is a little dicey. We have 3 lands, but only 2 of them, or only 1 of them actually helps us. We have Out to Splash green and black, but we'll see. I mean, the Godless Shrine could be really nice if we end up with something like Lingering Souls. We did already pass Fallen Shinobi and Ashiok, so that makes, in general, Black Splash a little bit less appealing, but I guess we could also splash like Vindicate, so we will see where we end up, but hopefully we can get some fetches. Ooh. If we wanted to do the splash, there's a Watery Grave, and Cave of the Frost Dragon is pretty strong, but I think we just got to take the Jace here. That is very nice. Yeah, Jace. So, after flirting with some other ideas, it looks like we are going to be blue-white, and I think that's probably... Well, I guess we started with blue-white, and then it looked like we might do a bunch of colors. Then it looked like we might do Storm for a second, but I think just being blue-white, mid-range / control is going to be a pretty good spot for us. There's a turnabout if we were doing the Storm thing, but I don't think we're doing that. We could take Everflowing Chalice for some mana. I don't think we're really a Tolarian Academy deck right now. Jadar and Mind Twist would both be reasonable, and Night Whisper. All the black cards here are okay. If this was a Mother of Runes, we could take that, but I think we should just take the Chalice. Yeah, let's do that. Now we can take Sheldock Isle. That's a pretty good one. Balance could be good depending on our final build. And then there's Geist, which we might try and get on the wheel. Commit Memory, which is fine, but I think Sheldock Isle is definitely the move here. That's a great card. And now we can take Portend. Sower of Temptation is very good with Palace Jailer. And Sun Gold Sentinel is just a surprisingly good card. This card has really impressed me, but I think we still just want to take the cantrip here. Yeah, we'll take that. Kitchen Finks would also be a solid card to wheel, potentially. But cantrips are very good. Ooh, now we can take a Click. That's pretty perfect. Good for maintaining the Monarchy, and also just a good interactive blue card. There's Time Twister if we were doing the Storm route. Now we can take Council's Judgment. Mother of Runes is an option as well, but I think I would rather have the elite removal of Council's Judgment. Yeah, let's go with that. Alright, we did wheel 2 blue cards. Wow, how is Library of Alexandria going that late? That's ridiculous. Alright, let's look at how many spells we have for determining our playable count. We have 15 spells right now. Yeah, I think we just want to take the Library here. These cards are both okay, but Library can just win games. Now we can take a Blade Splicer, and actually that is a card I am pretty happy to play in this deck. We have a lot of card advantage with stuff like Library and Ancestral, and Jace. So we want cards that can just like play to the board and make sure we don't fall behind. I'll take Kythian for the board. I don't think I want Gush. So this deck is good. It's not amazing right now. It needs a little bit better removal and a little bit better counter magic. So looking for stuff like Swords to Plowshares, Mana Leak, Remand, things along those lines. We have very, very powerful cards, like cards that are individually strong in Ancestral, Mox, Fractured Identity, Jace. But I think we are a little bit light on early interaction at the moment. I'll take a Giver of Runes. There may be some matchups where we side into a little bit more of an aggressive deck, especially if the Mother of Runes somehow wield, although I don't think that's particularly likely. Our curve is a little awkward here. A lot of 3s and not a lot of 2s. We are on a nice little run of opening power. We got Ancestral into Mox, so hopefully we can get Mox Sapphire to round it out, get 3 packs with some power in each of them. I would also sort of like to get 1 board sweeper, potentially. You know, like a Wrath of God type effect. That, like, we do have a reasonable number of creatures, but this deck could struggle a lot against decks that are really playing the board aggressively, since our answers are a little bit clunky. Like, stuff like Palace Jailer and Skyclave Apparition are very good if the opponent has 1 threat. But if they have a bunch of stuff, then they're a little bit slow, and something like a board sweeper can help clean you up. I think we just take the Geist here, and it'll start in the board. Okay, this pack had Kitchen Finks, I believe, which I wanted more than Land Tax, but Land Tax is still a decent sideboard option. Geist is probably not going to... Whoa! Well, I mean, sure. We'll take the Black Lotus. We got some good cards in this draft. There's also 2 fetch lands that can grab Hallowed Fountain, both of which would be amazing. And Uro would also be fine, but yeah, we'll take the Lotus. This is ridiculous. Our deck has such strong cards, and then there's like Blade Splicer. This is not the best Lotus deck ever because a lot of our expensive cards aren't really cards that you want to accelerate into. Like, these are fundamentally interactive. But, I mean, turn 1 Jace the Mind Sculptor or Palace Jailer is pretty sweet. Now I could take Azorius Signet, Lingering Souls, Banishing Light, maybe the Scarab God. I think we just take the Signet here. Yeah, let's go with that. Now, at this point, our mana is pretty good. We have a lot of acceleration. We have Chalice, Signet, Mox, and Lotus. So we really want some card draw. And immediately we get presented with some card draw, but also an Arid Mesa. And that's a really close pick. I think we actually should take the Mesa here. Mulldrifter is amazing. But we have a lot of 3s already, and I really do want to have good mana. This can also get Godless Shrine if that ends up being relevant. Yeah, let's take this. Maybe we could wheel Recruiter of the Guard. Ooh. Ponder is great, but I think this is actually a situation where we take Consecrated Sphinx. Pack 1, pick 1, I'm certainly taking Ponder, but here we have reasonable cantrips already. We have a lot of mana acceleration, and we're a little bit light on top end and card draw. So Consecrated Sphinx really plugs all of those holes. Elite Spellbinder would be a nice wheel, but I'm happy to have the Sphinx here. Okay, Seagate Stormcaller. This is the rare Seagate Stormcaller deck. We do have Ancestral, but not much other than that, just Ancestral, Probe, and Portend. What else are we taking, though? Plateau doesn't do much for us. I guess we could splash Nahiri off of a Plateau. I think I'll take this and then see. It's not going to make the main deck now, but if we get like 1 or 2 more good cards with it, then we could play it. Okay, now we can take Ancestral. Mana Tithe is reasonable as well, but I think I would rather have some card draw. Yeah, let's take the Ancestral. Deserted Beach versus Gideon. That is close. How many spells do we have right now? 21. But we also have some Moxen and stuff. We have okay cards in the sideboard. I think I will take the Deserted Beach. I do like Gideon a lot, but I think just having good mana is really, really valuable, especially because we have a lot of cards that are double white and a lot of cards that are double blue. Sweet. Control Magic is a great pickup now. Either one of these white cards would be okay as well. And actually, we are a little bit soft to Planeswalkers. And not that soft. We have Fractured Identity, Elspeth Conquers Death, and Council's Judgment. Yeah, that seems fine. Let's just take the Control Magic. The first one of this sort of effect is really good. Now, could we splash Uro? We have one breeding pool, which we cannot fetch with our Arid Mesa. Yeah, I think that's a little too greedy. We should probably just take Riftwing, which is very good with Palace Jailer. Sweet. Banishing Light's a great wheel. Lingering Souls is also okay, but I think I would rather just have the Banishing Light here. Yeah, let's take that. So if the draft ended right now... Ooh, Recruiter of the Guard. I don't think this is an opposition deck. Recruiter can grab Palace Jailer, Skyclave Apparition, Blade Splicer, Click, Geist, Riftwing, Thraben Inspector. Yeah, that seems good enough. Let's take this. Now, I guess I'll take Razor Verge Thicket. In case... I think Uro is not... actually, no. Uro couldn't wheel. I'm pretty sure we already saw it twice. I mean, none of the other cards do anything, though. I'll still take it. Yeah, none of these cards are getting played, but that's all right. This deck is looking really good. So what cuts do we want to make? Ooh, Mana Tithe. That's a card we'll actually play. Aspect Spectral. I don't think we're playing that, but it's good to have access to, potentially, for matchups where they have a lot of flyers. Okay, what do we cut here? I think we can cut Blade Splash, so we end up with a lot of 3s, and also Gideon. And then those will be good in some matchups. And then we could just play 16 lands, and then also have Lotus and Mox Pearl. Let's see how this would look. This would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white sources. I think we want one more blue source. And maybe we just cut the Everflowing Chalice. Signet is significantly better, and we don't have a ton of top end. Yeah, that seems good. We'll run it like this. I think this deck is phenomenally strong, honestly. It's light on counter magic. But other than that, it's just like very, very powerful with a lot of good threats and just... I mean, yeah, the power level is actually ridiculous. Having Black Lotus, Double Ancestral, Mox, Library, Sheldock Isle, Jace, Fractured Identity. Yeah, this deck is looking really, really good. I don't think we have any need for any of these lands. Nope, no need for those, so we'll run it like this. The fact that we didn't get a board sweeper means we will struggle against mono green. I think that would be our toughest matchup. But because like the two things you want against mono green are, well, if you're trying, like, you could just be faster than them or something, or like combo off and not care about what they're doing. But if you're trying to be interactive, the types of interaction you want are counter spells and board sweepers. And unfortunately, that's pretty much the one thing we don't have. I guess the other thing that is good against them is control magic effects, which we do have one of, but still not that many. So hopefully we don't play against a lot of mono green. This deck, I think, wants to be playing against other control decks because we just have better card quality. And we have some really, like, Geist and Vendilion Clique are really good against control. We are on the play here. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is just an incredible hand. We will keep it and really hope that this library can go off for us. This is what I'm talking about, though, how this is not the best Black Lotus deck. Like, turn 2... Like, if this Elspeth Conquers Death was a Teferi Hero of Dominaria, we could just fire that off on turn 2 and instantly win. But this is like an interactive 5-drop, so it's a little bit less impressive. Alright, Riftwing was a reasonable draw, but we're still going to library here rather than suspend. Thraben Inspector, okay. That was one of the better draws we could have had, to be honest. Because it's a card we can play while staying on the library plan, and then we can crack this clue later to get back up to library if we need to. So let's draw a card. Ooh, Signet. Would we rather play Signet or suspend Riftwing? I think play Signet. Having mana is really good when you have a lot of card draw, and we can just hard cast Riftwing if we want to next turn. Okay, Corrosive Portal. We could Elspeth Conquers Death that or Banishing Light it. Let's start by drawing a card. Skyclave Apparition. That's actually better than both of them. So we'll go Land, Apparition, exile their Corrosive Portal, and then I'll portend myself, I think, because we don't know exactly what they want. Lands and Ancestral. Okay, sure. We'll take it just because of the Ancestral. And I guess we can hit for 1. Doesn't matter too much, but no reason not to. And yeah, this is awesome. We're just drawing so many cards, making so much mana. I love Library of Alexandria. Acidic Slime destroying the library. Okay, fair enough. It still got us very good value. I think we drew 3 cards off of it. Elspeth Conquers Death on the Acidic Slime isn't that impressive. We could just go Hardcast Riftwing to bounce Botanical Sanctum. That actually seems pretty good to me. Or, actually no, I'll attack with the Skyclave first. And if they trade, then we can just bounce the token. And if they take it, then we'll bounce their land. I want to get the Skyclave into the graveyard so we can play Elspeth Conquers Death on their next threat. So they get a 4/4. And we kill their 4/4. And no rush to fire off the Ancestral. I kind of want to wait as long as possible. Or at least not as necessarily as long as possible, but I definitely don't want to discard a hand size. Okay, now I will fire off the Ancestral since we don't have another relevant play to make. Nice. We'll suspend this. I guess I'll probe for life and then plan on playing tapped Geist of Scent Draft. What are they holding? Oh, wow, that is a bad hand. They do have a Craterhoof that we need to be aware of, but that's not too scary. So we'll just cast the Geist, play tapped Hallowed Fountain, and hit them for 2 in the air. So they have 6 mana right now. They can't play Craterhoof next turn, but they can the turn after. But then we can just take a hit and Elspeth Conquers Death the Craterhoof. This Black Lotus is hilariously ineffective here. It just hasn't really done anything, but that's fine. Let's crack this clue. Mana Tithe. Well, that actually could be really good. We'll play Shelldock. See what we hit. Palace Jailer, Fractured Identity. We'll take the... They're both really good, but we'll take the Fractured Identity. And then attack for... With just these two, no reason... Well, I guess we'll attack with everything. Yeah, sure. They'll just block the Geist and take 7. I think we're just not playing the Black Lotus this game at this point. Our plan is to just... just hold it, conceal the information. It doesn't really change much for them to know that we have the Lotus, but there's no value in playing it. They have an Ancestral. Yuck. Don't like that. When is our second Ancestral coming off? It's still on 3? Jeez. Play Forest. They're holding these and some unknowns. Mages of the Order. Okay, we can... Elspeth Conquers Death that, I guess. Or Banishing Light. I'm not going to Fractured Identity yet. I believe we have 1 Plains left. The thing is... Elspeth... Yeah, I think I'm just going to Banishing Light, honestly. Yeah, we'll do that. Banishing Light to take out your Magus. And then we will swing. So the arguments for not cracking the Arid Mace is just, we've already played Portend, so it's just Jace the Mind Sculptor. So I think at that point I'm just going to crack it, because it's slightly better if we draw the Jace, and it's way better if we draw the Plains that we would have taken out of our deck. So it's worth it to wait, I think. So they can play Craterhoof if they want, but we have Instant Speed Fractured Identity. Alright, there we go. The Plains was literally on top. Wow. All right, so playing against blue-green, I mean, this is probably one of our worst matchups. It looked pretty good from that one. We did just crush them, but I think in general this is not a good matchup. We can bring in land tax over one basic island. And I think that's it. Actually, Geist of St. Traft, it was okay there, but I think it's not very good in general. I think I would rather have... None of these cards look amazing, to be honest. We could play one Brain Freeze in case the game goes long. Or just a Blade Splicer. I think I'm just going to put in Blade Splicer to hold down the fort on the ground. Brain Freeze can be sort of weirdly good in some games where the game goes long. Like, at the end of the game, they had 20 cards. We probably could have gotten a Storm of, like, 4 or something, which could win. Oh, wow. This hand is sweet. Turn 1, Suspend Ancestral, and then we have another Ancestral. And we have Miscalculation as well. No 1-drop. Bummer. Alright. Suspend Ancestral, pass. Now, if they have Ogo here, we basically just die. Oh, Mox. Just play out more mana, guys. Don't play a 4-drop. Oh, Sylvan Library. That is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, this draw is very, very strong from the opponent. No doubt about that. I think we just go Plains Go, holding up Miscalc. We can fire off the Ancestral end of turn if they don't do anything we want to counter. And then we can go Ancestral into, on our turn we play Signet and then hold up Miscalculation again if we don't need to use it this turn. They pay 8 life, that's a good call. Our deck is not very pressuring of their life total. So they have 6 mana right now. We could Miscalc a 4-drop. Tap one more. Yes. Acidic Slime. Plowhunter. Alright, yeah. We absolutely need to counter this. Suspend Rift Sower. Okay. So we could hit their Sylvan Library with a Banishing Light. Or we could just develop our side. I think it's actually better just to develop our side. So let's go... Let's go land, Signet, Ancestral. And if we draw Thraben Inspector, we can play that. Probe. Okay, do we want to just probe for life here? We're not playing... No, I don't think it really accomplishes anything to probe for life here. We can just wait. We'll see if they pay even more life. That was a pretty bad Ancestral. Got a bunch of lands for the most part. In 2 turns, we're going to get to draw even more cards. But in the meantime, we got to find some interaction. They pay 4 life, okay. So now they have 7 mana. I mean, they could play something pretty huge here. Corrosive Portal, okay, that's not too bad. We can Banishing Light that. And then there's more mana, guys. Winter Orb, okay. Do we want to take out the Winter Orb or the Corrosive Portal? I think the Corrosive Portal. Ooh, that was a good draw. I guess maybe I was supposed to just probe for life there, because we're never going to probe for mana, especially with the Winter Orb in play. So yeah, we should have played Corrosive Portal there. I don't think it really matters, but that would have been better. Or, we should have played the probe. So, we are going to draw 4 cards on our next turn, up to 9. So we are discarding hand size unless we draw a card we can play. I guess actually Portend sort of gets around that in a funny way. Last card, what you got? 4 mana? Magus. Okay. That is something we'll need to answer, because they can get Crater Hoof, which will probably kill us. So hopefully we can find like a Skyclave Apparition in our top 4. They're out of cards in hand, though. And they probably have bad cards on top of their library because of the Sylvan. Like, they've just been drawing the good ones and putting the bad ones on top without any shuffle effects. So, if we can find Skyclave Apparition or something along those lines, we could win. Or Mox, or Black Lotus. Yeah, we actually have a lot of live draws here. Did I... Ooh, I'll put myself up to there. Nice. We drew everything that we wanted. So we could... We have access to up to 6 mana. Let's start... Or, yeah, Probe doesn't do anything. So Skyclave Apparition, the Magus... Maybe we just play Lotus and then use that to Skyclave Apparition, the Magus. Yeah, let's do this. So we'll go cast Lotus, crack it for white. I want to use these Signet mana every single turn because we're constrained on mana. So we'll do it like this, and then we can play the Apparition to take out the Magus, which is absolutely essential. This also blocks their Riftwing, or their Rift Sower. Then we'll Portend targeting ourselves. Portending them doesn't matter because they can just draw all the cards with the Sylvan Library anyways. And we can shuffle if we don't like the cards we see. Riftwing, I don't think land tax is very good. Riftwing is also not amazing. Yeah, I think these are just bad. Or maybe we draw the Riftwing. No, let's just shuffle. And I'm just going to Probe for life. Let's see what we draw. There's the Riftwing. Do we want to suspend that or hold up Mana Tithe? They're going to have access to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. 8 mana because the Nykthos makes 2. I mean, I guess technically we could hit a Craterhoof. No, I think it's still better to just suspend this now. There is a... Well, actually, no. We will wait. Because this also... If we wait, we can play Control Magic, which could be good. The reason to do Riftwing is they are at 8. So it's a reasonably fast clock. But I still think the upside of being able to Control Magic their next threat is really high. Like, I don't want them to just, like, slam Elder Gargaroth and us have no way to deal with it for a few turns. Oh, I forgot we were drawing another card. That's nice. I mean, the card we drew is not nice, but at least we don't have to draw this island now. So, next turn we can suspend the Riftwing and then still have Control Magic available for the following turn if necessary. Okay, they just play land. And then pass. Type of land. Alright. Well, Plains and suspend Riftwing. We could have just cast it, but I think it's better to suspend for a couple reasons. First of all, it means we get to keep more of our lands untapped versus the Winter Orb. And second of all, it'll have haste when it comes in, so it doesn't change the clock that much. Like, we would have been able to attack next turn, or I guess it does take 2 turns. It takes 2 more turns to attack this way, but I still think it's worth it. We want to preserve our lands for the Control Magic. Can't really think of anything we could Mana Tithe here, unfortunately. We'll see what this is. I really hope it's a creature. 6 mana. Could be like a Primeval Titan. Oh, Everflowing Chalice, sure. Alright, this Mana Tithe is officially dead now, but that's fine. What do we got? Elspeth Conquers Death. That could take out the Rift Sower if we wanted to, but that just seems bad. So let's just wait still. Are we dead to Craterhoof off the top? They would have 4 creatures, so that would be... And 3 attackers. Wait. Tap... Oh, yeah. He would not need to tap either of the creatures. So, that would be 12 points of pump, and plus 6 points of initial power, so that would be 18. So, we would go to 1. Alternatively, we could steal one of their things and then not die. Or, no, I think we still just... Yeah, we'll just... If they top deck exactly Craterhoof, we'll go to 1, and then still not even be necessarily dead, because we can use... actually, no, we would be pretty dead, because we could use Elspeth Conquers Death to steal, or to exile the Craterhoof, but then they would just swing in with a Rift Sower and their token. So, yeah, we need to find a way to kill our opponent. That's really what it comes down to. They're just going to get a couple draw steps, and they have... very live draws in their deck. Okay, they just play another land. All right, I'm going to crack here, and then... I think I will crack here, because we need to find something that will pressure the opponent. Take away some of these draw steps. So, ideally looking for... Like, Palace Jailer would maybe be the best draw, or Click. Actually, Click would be the best. Fractured Identity. So... I think that we want to take out their Sylvan Library, actually. Not that I need a Sylvan Library, but we're pretty positive that their top 2 cards are bad. So this will just buy us a lot of time. Yeah, that seems correct. So Fractured Identity, steal your Sylvan. All right, there we go. So we were able... I thought that would be our worst matchup, but we took it down 2-0. That is pretty sweet. Hopefully we can keep that going in round 2. Nice. We win the die roll against Tom Basketball. Ooh. This hand is very close. It has our best card, or one of our best cards. If this land entered untapped and we could portend on turn 1, I would keep it. But I think we should ship this, especially since we have Ancestral in our deck that we can always draw towards. Okay, we'll keep and put back the Sphinx. And portend on turn 1, looking for Ancestral. Black Lotus, Miscalculation. Okay, I'll keep these, but only the Miscalc. Or, no, we have to keep 2. We have to either shuffle all of these or keep 2. Miscalculation would be a very good draw. But I don't want to draw a land. I'm actually... this is really close. Okay, I think I will keep this and just keep the plains. We don't need Black Lotus here. So we're going to draw a basic plains, but a plains isn't even a bad draw. We do need to hit another land drop. Ragavan, well, that's just terrible. That was the worst case scenario for sure. We know that we have a Black Lotus on top, which we do not want them to have. So I am going to crack this. And then we need to decide if we want to shock too. Goblin Guide. I think I'm just going to miscalculation this. Man, this is a good draw from the opponent, though. I'm not happy to see this. So we'll counter this. Then they get a Ragavan hidden, so they're going to get a treasure. Recruiter of the Guard. Dang it, that would have been literally one of our best draws. That's so unfortunate. That would have blocked the Ragavan and gotten us to find Skyclave Apparition. Now we need to... I mean, we have to draw something here. Geist of St. Trapped. Okay. Not good, but not terrible. Actually, pretty good. It'll trade with the Ragavan almost definitely and prevent their Dragon's Rage Chandler from attacking. Recruiter of the Guard would have been significantly better, but cannot really complain with the Geist. And then we can steal their Dragon's Rage Chandler, which will be Delirious already. So that's sort of sweet. Ooh, they're playing blue also. Interesting. Copying our Geist, okay. I will make this trade. And then we steal the Dragon Rage Chandler, and that'll hold back their Geist. Click. Not a bad draw, but I still think we want to do this. They could just burn spell their own Dragon's Rage Chandler here in response. If they have a burn spell, they should do that so they get the Surveil. Sure. Okay, so they kill off their own Dragon's Rage Chandler. We're taking 6, down to 9. Then the turn after that, we can click. We're still taking 4, so we're going to 5. We need them to not have another good play here. Rampaging Frostodon. That is a good play. Yeah, this is where you see like a board sweeper, which would be so clutch. If we draw land, we can play Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay. Yeah, I think that is the play. Then we're going to 3. So we might just die to a burn spell. But if we don't just die, we need to top deck something good. Yeah, I mean, we're still probably dead because we need to chump block their flying token next turn. Man, Phantasmal Image is very, very good with the Geist of St. Traft because the downside is completely non-existent there. What do we have for post board? We can bring in Blade Splicer and Kythian and potentially Spectral Procession. Actually, almost definitely Spectral Procession. Okay, we're dead. We could chump block the thing and go to 1. Well, is there anything in our deck that could win from that position? We don't have like a Baneslayer Angel type thing, unfortunately. So if our plan is just to... I guess there's Council's Judgment. Yeah, it's possible we could survive. Palace Jailer, okay. I think that's better than Banishing Light. Since if we're at 3, we're already planning on not taking any more hits. Oh, okay. Well, we're dead to that. Alright, so blue-red aggro. Their deck looks pretty sweet. We can bring in Kythian, bring in Blade Splicer. What do we not want? Probe is probably just not necessary. Palace Jailer is probably a little dicey, and Geist is also not good. Then we can bring in Spectral Procession. I think all the rest of these cards are good. Yeah, we'll run like that. So, yeah, we just need to hope that, like, Ragavan on turn 1 is just so broken. I mean, I guess it wasn't that good there. It just made them 1 treasure, but it also traded with our 3-drop. Okay, this is a hand. This is a hand. We're going to go Library on turn 1, I think. Although, do we want to miscalc on turn 2? Probably. So actually, no, I'm going to go Suspend Ancestral in 1. And then our plan is to draw back up to 7 with the Ancestrals and then get the library going. In like the mid-game. Goblin Guide, okay. Council Judgment on top. So we'll just pass holding up miscalc. Signet on top, okay. Okay, that's just a bizarre play on the opponent's part. They should certainly be playing spells there. So we'll go land, draw a card. Mox, Signet, hold up miscalc. Yeah, the opponent, I think, lost the game there by not casting a spell. They were playing around counter magic, but people play around counter magic so poorly. It's possible they also just didn't have a spell, in which case they should have mulliganed, because they're not going to win on the draw with a hand that doesn't have a 2-drop. Man, this Goblin God's doing good work, though, not giving us anything. Alright, we'll counter that. Like, why didn't you just play that last turn, then you could have resolved something this turn? And one more turn, this will come off. So I think here we just want to... We have a couple options. We could... I think I'm just going to bounce their Den of the Bugbear. Yeah, let's do that. Now, if they want to bolt the Riftwing, that's fine. If it trades with the Goblin Guide, that's great. Okay, they do just bolt, sure. And the next turn we get to draw extra cards. They replay the Den. Hopefully they don't have another creature. Our life total is a bit low, and we don't have any life gain in our entire deck that I can think of. Nice, we finally get a land off of that. No play from the opponent. I have no idea what sort of hand they kept. We'll grab a Hallowed Fountain tap. They might just have a bunch of burn spells, which would be bad. Draw some cards. Well, that was not good. We have just a bunch of ways to kill stuff. Don't want to Fracture Identity that. We'll go Plains, Lotus, draw a card. Okay, that was a good draw. Apparition. I need more proactive threats in this deck. I mean, just holding like literally 4 ways to deal with threats, but nothing to actually win the game, just means we could just die to burn spells. But you can see, like, with these cards, any deck that's relying on playing permanents is going to have a hard time against us. Land, draw a card, Portend myself. Those are bad. And do we leave back the Skyclave Apparition? I think so, because I don't want them to just be able to attack with Den of the Bugbear. There's a Shelldock. Oh, that's okay. Alright, I'm going to just trade this off with their 1/1. Or with their land. They do get a 1/1 out of the deal, two 1/1s. So we do need to find a way to block those. Hopefully we can find like a Thraben Inspector. Well, as bad as it is, I'm actually just going to control magic their illusion because I want to be able to use library. And I'll say this just deals with the board well. Okay, Jace. That's a way to actually win the game. Good. Put some of these things on the bottom. Use library. Jeez. So we can Mana Tithe the 5-drop if they have one. Sword of Body and Mind. Okay, we need to Mana Tithe this, because otherwise they could equip and hit us, which would win. But if they pay the 1, they actually need to let this get countered. They will lose if they let it resolve. Okay, sweet. That's perfect. Now we can steal that with a Fractured Identity, and then we have a win condition. I mean, we already have the Jace, but then we have another win condition. They also should have attacked there. Another blunder. We will cast this. Bounce their token. I guess we can library too. Oh, no, wait. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 7 to play and equip the thing, so we can also play Click. Okay, so let's do that. We'll go land. Fractured Identity, your sword. Oh, wait. We could have used library. Well, whatever. Equip here. Oh no! Hilarious. Okay, that was just my bad. I need to now take emergency measures. Just playing Council Judgment. Hilarious. I totally forgot that. So it gets protection from blue, which makes the control magic fall off. So now we could just die. I mean, we do have click, so we can like get some sword hits in that way. But that is hilarious and just entirely my bad. So they have 5 mana. We need them to not have like a really scary dragon here, but we still have Elspeth Conquers Death. Treasure Cruise, okay, that's something. This deck is very strange. Treasure Cruise and Goblin Guide in the same deck is not common. Goblin Rabblemaster, okay. That's not too bad. They hit our Jace for 1. They should hit our Jace for 1. Yeah, that's certainly a good play. So, if we draw a brick, which, yeah, we do, then we'll Fate Seal our opponent. Eidolon. Do we care about Eidolon? I don't think so. You can have that one. Then we'll go Plains. Elspeth Conquers Death. And then we'll play main phase Click. We know they're drawing Eidolon, so there's no point in doing it in their draw step because we're not going to take their Eidolon. Okay, Abbot of Carol Keep. I don't think we care about the Ferocidon that much. So I'd rather take out their card draw. So we'll put the Abbot on the bottom, equip this here, and pass. So they're holding Eidolon, Ferocidon, Daze. Play the Ferocidon, then play the Eidolon, taking 1. They pass. And I think we might bounce the Ferocidon here. Oh, yeah, okay. Given that we drew that, we're definitely bouncing the Ferocidon. Then we'll hit them for 5 in the air, mill them 10, and they're dead next turn. I think I'm just going to play Spectral Procession. We take 2, but I think it's worth it. Oh, we don't even take 2, because it technically has a mana cost of 6. We also should have re-equipped, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we took down blue-red in game 2. I think the more that I've seen the deck, the more I think it's bad, actually. They're like, well, it's cool. I would enjoy playing it, but their 2 strategies don't work well together at all. Like, you're playing Eidolon in your deck with a bunch of cantrips, and, like, you know, you play your aggressive early creatures, but then in the end game where you want to be drawing burn spells, you're just drawing, like, random blue cards. I guess they have card draw to draw towards burn, potentially. But I would much rather play against this deck than just a focused mono-red deck, I think. But at any rate, we are tied now. Hopefully we can take down game 3. Do we want to change anything on the draw? We'll bring in land tax for sure over basic island. We could bring in Giver of Runes. Yeah, I think that's probably worth it, just as like another cheap play. What do we cut, though? I like the tithe. I like all the 1s. I'd certainly like the power. We could cut Ancestral on the draw, I guess. Control Magic is good against Rabblemaster. Yeah, Control Magic is solid. Elspeth Conquers Death seems fine. Yeah, that game we run into a weird spot where we like overloaded on stuff like Elspeth Conquers Death, Fractured Identity, Control Magic, stuff like that. But drawing at least 1 per game is pretty important. We could bring in Frantic Search also. I think let's just cut the Ancestral Vision and run it like this. Frantic Search is okay. It's especially good with land tax, but I think I still would rather just... I think all the other cards are a little bit better. Okay, I will keep this. We have turn 1 land Mox Signet. We don't have a second land, but we can play a 3-drop on turn 2, even if we don't hit a second land drop, and all of these 3-drops are really good here. No 1-drop. That is excellent. Okay, I think I would rather play the Signet than hold up Miscalc here. Because anything that they play here, we have a good answer for. Eidolon, sure. So let's just Skyclave Apparition the Eidolon. Sulfuric Vortex, okay, we can Council's Judgment that. Land. Nice. Doesn't change our play this turn, but still a good draw. And I will attack for 2. If they play Rabble Master, I'll regret that. But we need to deal damage to them. Ultimately, this game will come down to a race. Like, we need to lower their life total. They did have the Rabble Master. Can we draw a land? If we can play Fractured Identity on their Rabble Master, then I think we'll be in a phenomenal position. Even if we don't draw a land, though, Blade Splicer is fine. Kythian, okay. Yeah, let's just flood the board then. Blade Splicer. Kythian. Pass. And now that we need to have multiple burn spells to make Rabble Master be a problem. They're just playing a bunch of creatures on the ground that matches up pretty poorly against our draw. This Blade Splicer is clutch. That's very, very good for us. Next turn we can play Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yeah, they're down to 1 card. We're still at 15. This looks very good. They don't have any attacks. They can't really send anything else, so we'll just kill both of their goblins. Then play Jace and Brainstorm. Alright, as long as we can hit some land drops, we'll win this game. Ooh. Oh, they just conceded that. Not hitting land there was actually awkward, but I still think we were going to win that game. So, pretty good start. We are 2-0. Let's get that trophy. This deck is sweet. We've played against 2 matchups that I would have thought of as not great. Blue-green or like basically mono-green and basically mono-red. What we want to be playing against is blue decks. We don't have good counter magic for the blue mirror, but we can just leverage our mana advantage and card advantage to win the game pretty easily. Reanimator would be a pretty tough matchup because we don't have great interaction for it. We only have Mana Tithe and Miscalculation for counter magic, and we don't have any Graveyard Hate. I guess we do have, well, we do still have like Fractured Identity and Control Magic to steal their Reanimator targets. So it depends on what exactly they're bringing back. Alright, on the play here against Olindo Alo. This is a great hand. We can play turn 3 Consecrated Sphinx. Even if we don't draw land, we can do that. And the opponent's on a mold of 5, so feeling pretty good about this one. Do we want to play Black Lotus? It's good if they have some sort of ridiculous combo, and it's bad if they have a way to kill it. I think I'm going to hold off, although I wouldn't fault someone for running it out. If they manage to turn 1 kill me with Storm, that would be awesome. Gilded Goose, sure. Alright, I think we just want to hold up. Like if we didn't draw a land there, I would have played the Signet to guarantee the Consecrated Sphinx next turn, but now we can just go Miscalc into Sphinx, and that seems pretty busted. So hopefully they crack their clue here, or their food. Okay, they're just passing. Well, in that case, we'll just crack our clue. And now the shields are down for a turn, but I think that's okay. Oh, if they have Mana Tithe, I'm going to cry. I don't think we should play around it here, but that would be awesome if they did have it. Okay, no Mana Tithe. We will pass back to the opponent. They could also have like a Path or Swords to Plowshares. And actually, if they did, we would be in pretty bad shape. We wouldn't really have anything going on then. Nice, okay. As long as we get one trigger, that's all we need, because this puts us back up to library. So now, even if they deal with it, we can just continue drawing a bunch of cards. That's why we played library last turn rather than playing another land. If we played island or something, then we would have to play the library on turn 4, and that would put us down to 6 cards in hand. Okay, I think we just want to Palace Jailer that, because I don't want... I mean, it only adds 1 mana right now, but I still think I don't want them to have that. This is ridiculous. We'll go Plains Jailer. And now if we attack, that does open them up. Like if they top deck a card with the Exalted, they could hit us in the air with the Gilded Goose, but I still think it's worth it to hit them for 4. Boom. Then we get to draw a card and turn. This deck is sweet. We have Library, Ancestral Recall, and Ancestral Vision. The cards we're drawing into are like not that good in terms of actual threats to win the game, but if you draw enough cards, it doesn't really matter how bad the cards you're drawing are. Like you'll find something. 4 mana, what you got? Garruk Relentless to kill. Yeah, I mean that's just bad. They kill the Palace Jailer, but then we can just kill the Garruk very easily. So we'll go 1 at Garruk, 4 at you. And then, a few options. We could play Signet. We could play Signet into. We could go Signet, suspend Ancestral, draw a card, and hold up Miscalc. Or we could just hardcast Riftwing to bounce a land. I don't think we need to play the Skyclave Apparition. Probably holding up Miscalculation is good here. So let's go Signet. Land. Draw a card. Suspend. And then pass holding at Miscalc. Oh, I forgot we're drawing another card, so we are going to discard hand size, but that's fine. Arid Mesa. I don't want to pay any life. There's a Council's Judgment, okay. What I'm really looking for is Jace the Mind Sculptor to Fate Seal them. So we can counter their 4-drop if they have one. And then hit them down. I mean, yeah, they're dead in just a couple turns. Yeah, it seems very hard for our opponent to get out of this one. Okay, I'll just untap. So we'll go land. Riftwing Cloudscape to bounce Stirring Wildwood. All right, there we go. Pretty solid victory there. So they're playing Bent. Base green, but they are splashing a lot of colors, which makes Rafello significantly worse, among other things. We will bring in land tax. Cut an island. I kind of think that's all we should do. Like, all of these cards seem pretty good. I guess Geist might be pretty bad if they have a lot of beefy creatures on the ground. I guess I will bring in Frantic Search on the draw. It's, I mean, it would have been good there, like, with the card quantity, and then it's also good with land tax for just turning those lands into spells. All right, great hand. We'll definitely keep it. Another hand that just, like, draws cards and doesn't really do anything else, but hopefully the card draw will find us something. It's a little awkward that we have no white mana. But, yeah, I mean, we're not going to ship a hand that has Ancestral and Library. Hopefully they don't have a 1-drop. Nice. Portend, not really what I wanted. I sort of wanted, like, we already have... This hand is going to spend a lot of turns just drawing cards, or sort of, like, not impacting the board. So I'm not really looking for other cards that do that, like Portend. We'll draw our card. Vanishing Light, okay. I think I'm just going to play Shelldock Isle and then discard a card to hand size. Okay, we'll take Consecrated Sphinx. And I think we pitch Recruiter of the Guard. Yeah, that seems a little bit slow. Hopefully this is something we can Banishing Light, Cultivate. Okay, that's a little annoying. They're getting a lot of mana. We'll draw a card. The best draw here would be Signet for sure. Okay, so that is white mana at least. We can play that. And just go to discard and pitch Portend. No, let's Portend actually. Let's just do this. So we'll cast this. We need to find a win condition of some sort. Okay, oh, those are great. Yeah, definitely like drawing control magic in particular. So we'll pass. And then we can either miscalc if they play something, or yeah, we'll probably be miscalculating, which means we're not going to use library, but that's fine. We'll still be able to use library on our turn. Gideon, yeah, we definitely want to counter that. We do have answers to it, but that's still a threat. I mean, it'll make a 2/2 immediately, and then, we Banishing Light it, and they can get rid of the Banishing Light. It just seems safer to do it this way. So there's the Thraben Inspector. Let's play land, draw a card, suspend Ancestral, play Thraben Inspector, and then pass and plan on playing Ancestral end of turn. And weirdly enough, I'm actually fine if they counter it even, because we're getting to the point where we can just flip Consecrated Sphinx. It's sort of hilarious that like the one win condition that actually closes out the game also draws a lot of cards. This deck is just like the ultimate card drawing machine. It would go a long way if we had like one Elspeth Sun's Champion or something like that. Hydroid Crisis for 4, okay. We can control magic that. Fractured Identity doesn't do anything against that. Yeah, let's just control magic. So I'm going to probe for mana. Actually, no, let's just probe for life. They're holding Craterhoof and nothing else. Okay. So we can go... Actually, we could just do Consecrated Sphinx to ambush the Hydroid Crisis. No. I want the 4/4. I think that'll actually help us a lot. Oh, land tax is our last card? Okay. So... yeah, we'll control magic this. And then use library end of turn. And then our plan is to play Consecrated Sphinx and have 8 power in the air. And that's our win condition. And we'll just sit back dealing with all of the cards that they play until that wins the game. Okay, so they go land, birds, Gilded Goose. We want to make sure they don't have many creatures on the battlefield, because that'll make Craterhoof a lot better. So we'll draw a card. Another land, okay. So we have 6 mana. We could play Banishing Light and Council Judgment to take out both of his mana dudes if we wanted to. think I want to get the Consecrated Sphinx down. So, this is interesting. Yeah, let's just go land Banishing Light to take out Gilded Goose. And then plan on going Consecrated Sphinx and use Library. So we'll swing for 5. Then in their upkeep, we will draw off Library and then use the Shelldock. We have quite a few cards in hand here. There's a Mox. That's a pretty good draw. Did they just jam their... They played Teferi. Okay, so they can bounce their Hydroid Krasis. That's a little annoying. Do we even draw 2 more? I guess I will. Lotus Plains, okay. Questing Beast. That's awesome. That's exactly what we wanted because we can... Anything that they play, we were just going to steal pretty much. So we can go... Yeah, we're just going to go off on our turn. Oh no, is this coming off too? Oh, that would be hilarious. We'd go up to like 1,000,000 cards in hand. Okay, so Signet. Let's go Plains, Mox, Signet, five mana for Fractured Identity. Black Lotus. I guess it's not surprising we're getting the trophy if we have Mox, Black Lotus, and Ancestral, but still feels pretty good. We can crack this for white to just cancel Judgment, their birds. Okay, there we go. So, pretty smooth one. We got that trophy. That's pretty sweet. Hopefully, my computer can handle opening up the deck list here. Come on. Let me know in the comments if you value me opening up the deck list and doing a little breakdown at the end of it. Like, I can just end it after the last gameplay, but I do I enjoy taking a look at and summarizing it a little bit. This was our deck. It was really sweet. We got a trophy. Only lost 1 game. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, just the raw power level of the cards in this deck is ridiculous. It was a little bit slow at actually closing out the game. It was really relying on, like, Consecrated Sphinx or, like, Vendilion Clique or something like that. And I also ended up siding out Geist a decent amount, which may have been incorrect, but this deck was just unbelievably strong. We had so much card draw between Library, Portend, Ancestral, Probe, other Ancestral, Jace, Consecrated Sphinx, and some good threats that play to the board. There's one game in particular where having stuff like Blade Splicer was important for just blocking, like, clogging up the ground. And yeah, I mean, the mana was good. Library of Alexandria was its all-star. I have no idea how this wheeled. This card is completely undervalued now. It was probably overvalued for a while, but like there's literally no chance this should ever wheel. I cannot accept the fact that 8 people all had a card they would rather take out of that pack than Library of Alexandria. That just doesn't make sense. I think multiple people must have made a mistake there, but I'm not complaining. I mean, I loved getting this card that late, and it basically single-handedly won us a few of the games. Even though this is like one of the worst Library of Alexandria decks ever. Like, we already have the Ancestrals. Card draw was not the problem for this deck, but even in a deck that's like perfectly maximized to not use it, it's still good. So that says something about all the like mono green players that didn't take it. But a sweet league all around. I love Blue Eye Control, and this was a really good build of it. And anytime you get a trophy, can't complain with that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.